Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I want to talk to you about chasing unavailability and then people who chase unavailable people. And most prominently, you will see this in romantic relationships, like you are chasing an unavailable specific person, meaning that this specific person is very limited in his or her availability to you. Like you are always available to them and they are mostly unavailable to you. And then if you take a closer look at your life, this pattern will be repeating itself not just in your romantic relationships or situationships, but also in every other area of your life. So maybe when it comes to your family as well, friendships also, professional relationships also. So when you take a deeper look when you take a deeper look, you can start to see these patterns everywhere. So if that is you, then I'm going to be talking about some common traits and tendencies and habits that these people have. In today's video, let's talk about these characteristics. Number one is not having self-love at all. In fact, when you really introspect, there is a sense of self-loathing, not having self-respect, not having a good self-concept or any self-concept at all, right? So there is this feeling of staying small, staying little, and I like to call it the little person syndrome. Like, who am I to take up all this space? Let me stay little so that I don't disturb others. Let me stay little so I don't offend others. Let me not shine so brightly so I don't outshine others. Right? Let me stay small. Let me please others, which is basically people pleasing tendencies to the max, overgiving. Like you are going in minus and you're still giving to other people, right? That is a characteristic as well. Another characteristic is not having any boundaries or not knowing the concept of boundaries. And this means that you don't ever say no. You don't have a sense of yourself as a separate identity, as a separate entity. So, in romantic relationships or in very important relationships, like with your best friends and siblings or parents, even, you kind of enmesh with them. So you don't see yourself as a separate personality or entity, and you kind of morph yourself into whatever they want to do or they want to be. So you are just like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I'm okay with it. So you kind of like enmesh with that other person. So this is another trait that is common in all adults who are chasing unavailability. Another characteristic is not being able to say no, always saying yes, even when you want to say no, right? Because you're a good child, you're a good girl, you're a good boy. And good boys and good girls don't say no, right? Not being able to speak up for yourself, not being able to ask for money, not being able to ask for anything, always sacrificing yourself, things, your share for others. So then another thing that is very common as you grow older, especially when you're in your 30s and beyond, you have this sinking feeling that you have been left behind. You feel really left behind in life, in every area of your life, right? And when you see other people and how much they have and how much they have achieved, you feel really left behind. And the reason why you feel this way is because you have had a disadvantage and you have these traits that I have mentioned, like people giving, people pleasing, over giving, lack of boundaries, not being able to say no, not being able to ask for money, for anything really. So these traits have kept you small, have kept you behind, have kept you stuck. And today, now that you know, you need to work on these traits from every angle. So one angle is like consciously knowing, yes, I have these tendencies, so I need to stop them now and have practices in place that will help you do that consciously. And then also taking a deeper look at your past, at your childhood, and then just acknowledging what has happened and letting it go, like forgiving people and feeling your emotions and all of that, healing your inner child, all of that comes under a part of that deeper subconscious emotional healing, right? So when we look at healing, we look at it as a 360-degree holistic approach. We look at it from every angle. Another characteristic is seeking validation, always seeking validation from the outside and not relying on the validation from within. And this is another thing you must cultivate. Learn to self soothe, learn to self validate. And the thing is that the world is just a mirror. So if I'm going into the world and I'm feeling not good enough, not worthy enough from within, and then I'm seeking somebody to validate me, the validation that I will get is the same thing that I'm feeling inside, which is I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. That is what the world will mirror back to you. But if you learn to, in a way, self soothe, self validate, reparent yourself, and that validation that you never got from that unavailable parent, you start giving yourself that validation. And then you change your inner story to I am good enough, right? I feel that I am worthy. I see my worth. I see my value, right? Even if no one else does, I feel and I know that I'm good enough and I can see my worth. So you change your story like that, and now you're going out to the world with that story. So guess what? Your story is I see my worth, and now the world is going to mirror that back to you. I see your worth too. Trying to heal other people, trying to fix other people when you yourself are so broken. That's another characteristic. Right? I'm not trying to shame anybody here, but you have to realize that if you have these traits and you can identify with what I'm saying, then what you need to do is look at your formative years, look at your childhood, look at your upbringing, and see where these patterns are coming from. Most likely, it is because you were pining for validation from your parents, most likely your parents, or maybe cousins, siblings, if it was a joint setup, or maybe your primary caregivers, whoever they were, grandparents, I don't know. In your case, it could be um, some uncles and aunties, but most likely it is parents, right? So we're really pining for validation or love or appreciation or words of affirmation from that caregiver. And as a child, your world is your parents and your family. You don't know beyond that. So, in a way, you perceive them as everything, God, even, right? Because they're taking care of you and you're totally dependent on them. So, getting their love and affection is everything, is of utmost important. And if you don't, it's life threatening to a little child, right? So, there genuinely could have been abuse, or it is the perception. Because a lot of times, what happens is in joint families, one little child could feel neglected while everybody else got attention, or that's that child's perception. Or even in a family where there are siblings, right? So somebody might feel that my sibling got more than me. And that may be true, or that may be your perception. Because again, when you are a little child, you don't have a complete 360-degree understanding of the world, right? Whatever you experience, it's so literal and it is understood by your little brain. Like, you cannot fully comprehend what's going on. So I'm not going to get into all of that in today's video, but just touching on that, these are the traits that you have. So there are various different ways to work on these. One is that now that I know, okay, I have all these tendencies, right? People pleasing, over giving, not being able to say no, not having boundaries, etc., etc. So, how can I work on these consciously? Like today, like I'm not even saying let's dig deep into your childhood, let's do all of that, let's go do your inner child healing. Let's not even go there first, but consciously, the answer is that you need to decide that you are the most important person in your life, and you need to make self-care and you need to make self-care and self-love your biggest ever priority. And you need to write this down, like what does it even mean for me to love myself or to take care of myself? And you have to have a list ready, which means that okay, my health is important, my fitness is important, my meals are important, my family time is important, my finances are important. So you need to make a list of all these things. And then if somebody is trying to enter your space, and when I say your space, your physical space, your emotional space, your mental space, if somebody is trying to enter that space and it is messing with your self-care, then you need to always choose your self-care. And that is having a boundary. So being able to say no, like falling in love with saying no, right? No, I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me. No, I'm sorry, I'm not available. A lot of people also relate to that if somebody calls them for help or for whatever, entertainment, anything, gossip, anything, then they have a tendency to just leave whatever they were doing, no matter how important it was in their life, they will leave it and they will just attend to that person. So, there, being able to say no or not even answering your phone, that's where you start. So, you are chasing unavailable people because you were chasing unavailable people in your childhood. So, you're continuing with that pattern. And you were chasing unavailable people to get some love, right? To get some appreciation, to get some validation. And when you were chasing unavailable people when you were a little child, you felt abandoned in a way. And now you're doing the same thing to yourself. Now that you're chasing unavailable people, the biggest irony is in all of this, you are abandoning yourself and that little child, that inner child, over and over again. So the first port of call is to stop it. Stop it and be there for yourself, right? Develop your self-concept and raise that every single day. Raise your self-esteem, raise your self-worth, raise your self-respect. Take care of yourself. That is where you need to start. So that is it for today's video. I hope this has been useful. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, reach out to me. My email address is mentioned in the description box down below. And I'm also relaunching my course Get Over It. I am relaunching it and now I'm going to call it Stop Chasing Unavailability. And this course is going to be open to men and women both. So I'm going to leave a link to that as well in the description box. Check it out. If you think it will be useful, then definitely sign up for that. And that is it for today's video. I will be back here very soon with another video. Bye.